If you find yourself codependent in your relationships, then there's one type of guy that you absolutely need to avoid: the emotionally unavailable man. He's the same guy who keeps showing up on my calls with you regardless of where in the world you happen to be, regardless of your story, and regardless if you've learned all those hard lessons, and regardless of who you are and where you've been. See, years ago, I thought that it was just me, and then just me and my friends, and then just some of the women that I was coaching, and then almost every woman from every part of the world was telling me her story of the emotionally unavailable man, until I realized this was no coincidence. All of us nurturers, grace givers, empathetic feelers, and sensitive souls can't help but feel the pull of this strong on the outside, yet soft on the inside personality that is so typical of emotionally unavailable men. We're the peacemakers, the harmonizers, the sympathizers, the empathizers, the understanding ones with a cup that seems to always be so full for everyone else, even as we become more and more depleted, giving every part of ourselves following some unwritten rules about how to do relationships. And it's not just our relationships with men, it's our relationships with everyone. But where we seek to understand so we can keep on being empathetic and keep on being nurturing. We're not martyrs, and we never were meant to be. So at some point, the resentment and the anger come into play, and we find ourselves blowing up, only so he can say triumphantly, See, I knew all along, you're not that good, you're not that perfect, you're just as bad as me. See, the emotionally unavailable man doesn't seek to understand you. The emotionally unavailable man doesn't have empathy for you. And where you always want to talk to make things better, to resolve problems as they arise, talking is the absolute last thing the emotionally unavailable man wants to do. He might cry with you over what he's been through, or he might even cry with you over something that you've gone through that has nothing to do with the times that he's made you cry. But if you ever try to make your pain about him, or tell him how something he does has adversely affected you, the emotionally unavailable man avoids, he deflects, and he projects the very thing that you're trying to explain to him about what he's doing to you onto you. You absolutely cannot be with an emotionally unavailable man who avoids having real, meaningful, resolving conversations at all costs without losing yourself in the process and eventually losing him. He avoids where you embrace. He avoids where you want to talk. He avoids where you want to have a real conversation, and he just wants to blame. Anything to avoid feeling bad, feeling the shame of who he knows he is deep down because of his programming that told him the same. Have you ever been in a relationship with an emotionally unavailable man? Pause the video right here and let me know in the comments if you have. Even if it's just a yes, I have, or no, I haven't. And then go ahead and click the subscribe button while you're here too, so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. You see, here's the thing about the emotionally unavailable man who doesn't take responsibility. You will take all the responsibility. With a man who doesn't say sorry, you will always be saying sorry all the time. With a man who can't look within, that's all you do is look within and usually blame yourself. With a man who projects his own shortcomings or subconscious feelings of shame onto you, you're going to let him and take it all on you even if you don't know why. With a man who only knows how to wield power in a relationship by hurling words, insults, or threats at you, who yells, who mocks, who makes fun of everything light and gracious in you, you'll excuse his behaviors away even as you know that there is nothing loving about any of those things. Are you seeing why you're so perfect for him and yet why he's the absolute worst kind of guy for you? When your world is conditioned, programmed to revolve around another person, when the only thing you know is taking the temperature of the room, and that room is your partner, you can't have that person you've chosen be someone who denies what you feel, who tells you you're wrong, who's incapable of showing empathy for you. You can't be with someone who doesn't meet you where you are, with the real version of who he is. You can't be with someone who isn't even aware of what goes on with you because he's more focused on himself and keeping himself from feeling pain or shame or bad, that he isn't able to comprehend that you might feel that same pain and shame and bad every day of your life, even as he keeps projecting these things he keeps avoiding onto you. You may see his behavior as a reason to go in deeper, a reason to seek to understand him more, to make him more of your world than you've already done because you see him. You love this man like no one else has ever seen him before. There are so many women who think that they can do this. I meet them every day. They honestly believe that they're the exception with these emotionally unavailable kind of men who won't and can't and don't own their feelings until they get the professional help they need. And even then, there are no guarantees that that'll happen. Yes, you can inspire change in him, but you can't and won't be able to change him. No one has that power except him. And there's a wall of shame he has to confront first if he's to make any change at all. You can't do that. No matter who you are, no matter how much love you have in your heart for the emotionally unavailable man, you can't. Every day my inbox is filled with heartbreaking letters from yet another woman who's discovered this for herself the hard way, the hardest way possible. Don't be that woman. Don't wait until you're too invested to do anything about it because the thought of starting over with someone new seems impossible. It's not. It's not. But as long as you're with this man who holds this challenge for you as a subconscious means to finally prove yourself worthy, it will seem that way. We don't fix these emotionally unavailable men. We don't change them. You can inspire them by focusing on yourself for a change, by fixing what needs fixing in your own life so that you never make fixing a wounded, broken man your project again. No, girl, this isn't love with the emotionally unavailable man. It's pain, endless pain, and more pain. And no, you don't ever have to feel this way again.